at the top, on the right here is my president, Elder Charles Cheatham, who is an outstanding supporter of the publishing ministry. I contribute the fact that Allegheny East Conference Publishing Department is doing very well because we have had outstanding support from our administrators. We have 4 publishing leaders on payroll at the Allegheny East Conference, in addition to myself as publishing director. And here's Elder Cheatham and myself with 5 of our retirees who spent over each one of them. Between those 5 people there, I believe there's over 120 years in the literature ministry. And this was taken back in 2001, and they all have now retired. And from there, we will take a look at the table here. Okay, here on the table, right in the very center of it, is Elder E.E. Cleveland. Elder Cleveland was indeed a friend of publishing. He loved the publishing ministry. He was an outstanding supporter of the publishing ministry. For 20-some years that I attended the Literature Evangelist year-end retreat and banquet, there was not one time that Elder Cleveland and his lovely wife was in attendance at our year-end meetings. As a matter of fact, for several years consecutively, he was our keynote speaker at the Literature Evangelist training workshop. He is the only Adventist minister or pastor that wrote a book, that was strictly designed to evangelize the non-Adventists. And that book that we handled as literature evangelists, when I came on board as a literature evangelist, this was one of the books that we carried, Free at Last. And we sold this book with the Heritage Bible, and we made it like a gift book with the Heritage Bible. And I'm here to tell you that a number of non-Adventist ministers who bought this book and Bible from me, I know from members of theirs who purchased items also, that they use this book on many of Sunday mornings to preach sermons from this book. Also, he gave us another set of books, a 3-volume set entitled Milk and Honey, and One More River to Cross, and the Exodus. And this is a set of books that related to the times in which we lived, dealing with issues that were quite on the forefront in the black communities. Now I want to start here to take a look at the global impact. Tell it to the world. We have a lovely picture here of Mr. and Mrs. Finley. This is in 2010. You know, sometimes we feel like the distribution of literature is not for everyone. It's only for a certain segment of the church. But it's so wonderful when you can look and you can see that there are those that are in the forefront of this Adventist movement who find it necessary to find time to go out into the community and distribute literature. And this is Mr. and Mrs. Finley. This is 2010. So this is in January or February. They're out distributing the missionary book of the year. Here we have a feature story, The Power of the Printed Page, Progress in Jamaica, how it all began with a book. There was a colporteur by the name of William Arnold. William Arnold sold a book, The Great Controversy, to a woman by the name of Margaret Harrison. Mrs. Harrison later received other information concerning the health facility in Battle Creek. And she went to spend some time at Battle Creek. And while she was there, she asked them to send missionaries to Jamaica because there was an interest in God's true Sabbath day. And I understand now either 1 out of every 7 is Jamaican or Seventh-day Adventists, or 1 out of 5. So those are some pretty good odds there. And to think that work began with one book, The Great Controversy. On the wall here, another fascinating story over here. And I believe this is Korea. In Korea, you have here 10 seasoned literature evangelists. As a matter of fact, I think the youngest on this picture is about 74. They're in their 80s and 90s, and they're still canvassing. Only one have retired. Between the 10 of them, they have over 500 years of publishing experience. Now, there's the woman here in this picture here, and I believe this is her statement. And I want to share this statement. She says, "When I see the miracles of God and how He changes men's heart, I notice neither the weight of my bag nor the tiredness of my feet." Okay, and it has also been our goal to not just focus on the publishing ministry in the regional conferences or the conception of the publishing ministry, but to also show the global impact of the publishing ministry, of course, around the world. And we have a few images here that I was able to receive from the General Conference Publishing Department. They gave me a disc of some wonderful images, and we've blown them up to make them a part of our museum here. And we have the student literature evangelists at Valley View University in, Ghana, the West African Division, to see these beautiful student literature evangelists who had come together for a conference and have given us this beautiful image of them celebrating what God has done through the ministry of literature evangelism. And if you could just focus your attention here, this is the Missionary Book of the Year dedication service. This dedication service was done at the North American Division. And I see here in the image is Elder Alvin Kibble with the mic in his hand, while everyone is knelt around the book by Elder Goldstein, the Sharon Book of the Year. And Elder Kibble is offering prayer and dedicating that book back unto God, that we may have great success in a mass distribution of that Sharon Book of the Year. And of course, this is one of my favorite images over here, whereby, this is in South America Division, whereby 246,265 souls were baptized. Now, I don't know what period of time, but I know that in that part of the country, they are baptizing 1,000 and 2,000 souls a year, if not more. And this picture, isn't that a beautiful sight? To see so many ministers of the gospel in that pool, and to see these numbers of people being baptized unto Christ in this Seventh-day Adventist message is just a wonderful history. Okay, all right, here on this wall we just have blown up the cover of the Literature Evangelist magazine from April to September 2007. We were very impressed with this image here of all of these beautiful literature evangelists. This is in the Ghana Union, the Literature Evangelist Convention. So we wanted to share that with you. And then right underneath it is the attendees at the West African Division, LE Congress in Nigeria. When I see what is happening around the world in the publishing work, I so wish that I could see the same kind of commitment, not just from the faithful literature evangelists, but I wish that I could see the same kind of a commitment from our church as a whole, from the grassroots up and from the top down. And because this is the kind of commitment that we are seeing in other parts of the world. I had an opportunity 2 years ago to attend a tri-division publishing congress that was held in Cohutta Springs, Georgia. And to meet the literature evangelists and the leaders and church members from these other divisions, and to see the kind of work that they have produced on behalf of the publishing ministry. And what I'm finding that is taking place in these other parts of the world is not just the literature evangelist who is pushing the printed page. It's not just the literature evangelist that is pushing the work of the publishing ministry. But what I'm seeing there at that conference that I was at, there were division leaders there pushing the publishing ministry. And there were the local, the union leaders and division leaders and the church leaders all working together. And I was so impressed by a project that was done by the South American division, where every member in the division had taken part in a big program, Viva Something. Live with Hope was the title of a magazine that they had produced, and they showed a convoy of station wagons with that sign on it, Live with Hope, in their language, and how they had gone into the cities, and I believe they had distributed hundreds and thousands of pieces of literature, rented a billboard and put the message on the billboard. So it wasn't just a handful of literature evangelists, but it was the whole division. It was every member. It was every constituency. It was every pastor that had got involved in that work. I long to see that happen here in North America. I know that the work over the years has suffered in North America, but I do believe that that work is going